Greetings, survivors and friends. SHADOWFRAX here, and I'm on Mars. Yeah, I wish. It's about the only way you can get away from the general public, it seems. But no, actually, this is ROKH, or ROKH. Not quite sure whether that's how you're supposed to say it. But I like to bring you news, reviews, and first impressions of other survival games apart from Rust on this channel. And this one was released earlier this week on Steam in early access. So what's it about? Well, basically, it's your own personal Matt Damon simulator. It's the future. You're on Mars. I'm not quite sure whether you've crash landed, although the intro does kind of hint at that. Whatever the case, you're alone and you've got to try to survive. So there's a heavy emphasis in this game on making a habitat, and it's a very deep system, one that I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of, and I don't think I'm going to get very far in this video. But instead of building things out of blocks like you do in Rust, for instance, everything in this game is built out of tiles, which are much smaller and have conduits on them as well for piping and wiring. There's things to take into consideration like radiation protection, homeostasis, pressurization, oxygen. You've got to produce your own water and food. I'm not sure where they stand on toilets, but they seem to be going for a realistic approach, so I wouldn't put it past them. I'd like to say, first of all, a big thank you to the developers for giving me a key to the game, but what you are going to get here is a completely unbiased first impressions from me. So what I'm going to do is play a little bit for you, show you how it works, how it performs, and talk about what I like about it and what I don't like about it. We're also going to see if we can find some other people, because I know they're there somewhere. And yes, indeed, we have just found one, although they seem to be immobile and oblivious to our presence. Now, this is my first bugbear. There's no VoIP. There's not even in-game chat at the moment. They have reassured me that it's coming soon, but to be honest, I think it's a massive shame that they haven't released the game with at least some way to communicate with other players. There are a lot of boxes lying around, which is jolly handy, because there's some bits and pieces like food and parts to make tools with that you just can't find any other way at the start. Also, just top my oxygen up there because I'm running a little bit low. There are a lot of these abandoned stations around. Can't enter any of the buildings, sadly. Not quite sure why they're all abandoned. I like the suits, though. They are really quite nice. Like the character models. Ooh, mint cake. Delicious. Oh, he's moving. He's moving. What's he doing? Ah, he's topping up his battery. Hello. Hello. Unfortunately, I can't talk to you. This is really sad. I wonder where he's going now. What's he going to... Oh, he's... Okay, so he's got a pickaxe. And he's moving towards that node with intent on his face, which you can't see because it's behind his visor. And yes, he's going to start mining. Alright, I think I'm going to join him. So, to make a tool in order to mine with, you have to first have your screwdriver in your hand, and then click the left mouse button, which opens up this other option screen whereby you can make other tools. It's a bit of a clunky system if you ask me. So I need a rod and a spike so that I can make a pickaxe. And now I can harvest this. What is this? Water. Oh, something's happening. Okay. Yeah, this Mars attacks regularly with meteor showers at the moment. And there are other weather formations, I believe. But you do get quite a few meteors falling. I'm not sure if this is exactly what happens on a regular basis on the real Mars, but it does here. And it can be quite dangerous. Yes, that was close. That one was close. Yeah, and it seems like I've lost Jackie. She's disappeared. Whether they were hit by a meteorite, I don't know. But I seem to have lost them. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on with my life. I've got a jetpack as well. Did I mention that? You've got a jetpack, which is jolly handy for getting up cliffs and other things as well. Now over here, I think I saw... Ah yes, there we go. Another node. What's this one? Cassiterite. And yes, it's green. It's something that I think we can use to construct tiles to make a base with. Okay, so before we can make a tile, yes, we need another tool. We need a hammer, manufacturing hammer. So we use a screwdriver, or should I say assembly tool, that's what I'm going to call from now on, and we build a hammer with that. So that's a rod and bar, and I can also put in an optional spike. It's completely optional, but I can put it in, so I'm going to, because I want a fancy hammer. And hey presto, there we are, nice fancy hammer. So with that equipped, if I click the left mouse button again, I can then transfer some material, raw material, over here and make myself a tile. Right, so here it is, and we can rotate it into any position we want. Let's find somewhere we can put it down. Here should do. Okay, and there we go. There's the beginning, if we want, of a base. And then you can just expand by stacking them next to each other or building them up as walls and ceilings. It's all very modular indeed, but I'm not going to build here. I think I'm going to move on to somewhere a little bit more interesting. I've just found somebody else running along there in the distance. Let's see if I can go and make contact with them. Hello. Hello. Yes, the universal language of jumping, as we've got no other means of communication. Lovely weather we're having, isn't it? Hey? Lovely weather, yes? Oh, looks like we've got some semaphore going on here. See if I can use that to communicate. It's very complicated. Whatever he's trying to say, it's very complex thoughts he's expressing here. But I think we're friends anyway. I think we've got that far. And yes, let's do some jumping. Let's jump our way over to this area over here. The building seems to be glowing for some reason. Let's go. Oh my blimey! That's why. I just realised, actually, there's a mission here we've got to re-establish Earth communications. If we get 5 long-range antenna up, we get a reward. I'm not sure whether we can actually accomplish that yet. Also, there are several different factions vying for control of Mars. And I don't know whether this is functional at the moment, but you should be able to ally yourself with one later on, perhaps, and try to help win. So that's all quite promising. Anyway, I think we need to build a base, don't we? Tell you what, mate, I think I'm going to build here, if you don't mind. Just here? What do you think? Good place? And he's off. Where are you going? Oh, I see. You're going to build there, are you? Well, that's okay then. We can be neighbours. It looks like putting down any tiles automatically creates a building exclusion zone, and I think you have to give people permission to build on your property and use your stuff, which is good. You don't need tool cupboards or anything like that. We've got another meteor storm, and it's happening right on top of us, and I hope it doesn't actually... Oh, I've spoken too soon. Yes, it's going to hit Ragnaria's base full on. Will it do any damage? I don't think it has actually removed any tiles. I think those are as they were. Well, yeah, I think you've got away with it, mate. Doesn't look like meteors can damage our bases yet. And I haven't been hit by one yet, so I don't know whether they actually hurt if you take one to the face. But I don't really want to find out. There's some really sexy vehicles lying around, but unfortunately it doesn't look like we can actually use them. There's a hatch on top here, but I can't do anything with it. I'm pretty sure that vehicles will be making an appearance in the game, and I hope they do, because the map size is absolutely huge. Right, so I just figured out to make a door for your base you need yet another tool, so I had to make that. But now I've got hinges and some sheets in order to make the door out of this. There we go. Right, okay. And now I've got a door on my little portaloo / man shed thing, which I've yet to put a roof on. I've just got enough tiles now to finish the job. There we go. Excellent. I have now got a very small podule to live in. But it's a start. Oh, we've just had another player turn up. It's Forrest Gump. Brilliant. And he's off. He's off to continue his run across Mars, across the Red Planet, in his ongoing mission to just keep running. Run, Forrest! Run! and I think that's probably the last we're going to see of him. So I want to dish out some commendation on the visuals here, because I think they've really nailed the look of the Red Planet. No small thanks to Unreal Engine 4, I think that was a good choice for this. It reminds me a lot of Osiris New Dawn, but obviously in a more real-world setting. They've obviously put a lot of work into researching colours and terrain and getting everything looking just right. Well, I mean, at least to my eyes. Everything feels pretty handcrafted as well. There doesn't appear to be a huge amount of copy-pasting going on. At least, not that I've noticed. I mean, I'm sure that they've used shortcuts in creating this stuff, but they've done it well. Let's put it that way. Right, so I appear to be in a bit of a pickle now, because I've been running around for ages trying to find an oxygen pod, and I can't find any, and I've now pretty much run out. So I think the only option I've got is to die and respawn, and I'm going to do it inside Ragnarius base, and I noticed that there's this option to open the vents on my helmet, so that's what I'm doing now. And yeah, it's oh, the humanity. Oh, how long does this take? Come on, hurry up. All done. Excellent. Well, okay, so in conclusion, I would say that this game has got some great visuals. It's got a solid start, it feels good, there's some FPS drops every now and again, but the performance isn't horrific. I do think though that they should have allowed it to cook a bit longer before they released, because launching it without any VoIP or even in-game chat was a big mistake in my opinion. I think that's really sort of stifled any player interaction that there could have been, and that is super important, especially in these early days. I like the depth of the crafting system and the habitat building system, those are great, although I do think that perhaps the methods of crafting and building are a little bit clunky in areas, and I hope they streamline them to make them a little bit more accessible for everyone. Now I just want to talk about the price, because considering what you get at the moment, which is pretty much limited to building a habitat, it is rather pricey. I mean, we're talking about 20 of the Queen's Great British Pounds here, which equates to around 26 Trump dollars at the moment, and that's maybe out of range of a lot of people for the sort of content that you're getting here. So make no bones about it, if you do decide to buy this game, it's an investment in the developers to achieve their vision. So what is the vision? Well, looking at the bump on the site, I can see that there's going to be PvP and combat, an in-game programming and hacking system, craftable vehicles, and food growth as well. So there's a lot of potential there, but at the moment it is just potential, so I'm going to be keeping a beady eye on this game and bringing you more if you'd like to see it. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of it so far and what you think it could become. The next step for me, which I didn't have time for in this video, is to get a really complicated habitat up and running with automated systems and see how far I can push it. And if you're interested, I might do a video on that too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this first impressions. Please leave me a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Come and say hello to me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and the Steam group, and I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and carry on surviving. Cheerio.